We'll see how the Chicago Bulls held off the Charlotte Hornets and how the Indiana Pacers knocked off the New York Knicks. We'll also check in on the Utah Jazz LA Lakers series. Plus, Miami point guard Tim Hardaway's holding court. And we'll show you the top 10 assists of the year.
Down, turns the corner, down the lane. No, look. All right, here we go. Look out. Oh, my goodness. Post up.
Oh, my, baby.
Check him out. Oh, man.
We tip off our show by taking you into the action in the Eastern Conference with the conclusion of the Bulls-Hornets series. With Chicago up 3-1 in the Eastern Conference semifinals, Scottie Pippen drew the assignment of guarding Hornets sharpshooter Glenn Rice. And Rice was determined to keep Charlotte's season alive.
Here is Rice. Nice gets past Pippen and hits again.
But at the other end, Rice had to try and shut down the Bulls' Michael Jordan. The two traded baskets all game long.
Rice with a quick release and another three.
Rice finished with 30 points, but MJ was always there with a response.
Michael tries to go by, hangs double. Hobson hit. Oh, how about the answer at the other end from MJ now?
Rice would keep the game close down the stretch.
Here is Rice. Rice, unstoppable.
But this night, like so many others before them, belonged to Michael Jordan. Michael finished with 33 points as he carried the Bulls past the Hornets and in to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mike, great big jumper right side. Bang! Bang! The world champion Chicago Bulls have eliminated the Charlotte Hornets.
They forced us to play a solid game, which is a good experience for us. You know, how to make plays down the stretch, how defensively to maintain intensity and the pressure on the team. You know, that could work well for us in the long run.
Now we go back into the action with the other Eastern Conference semifinal series, the Indiana Pacers against the New York Knicks. In Indiana, Reggie Miller and the Pacers came home with a 3-1 lead and a chance to close out the Knicks. But Allen Houston had other ideas as he scored 33 points.
Houston forces one up and got it. Had a foot on the line, though, and Allen Houston is on fire.
But when Houston cooled off, the Pacers began to take control.
Houston missing. Indiana with a long rebound. Miller got behind Houston and got it. Good outlet pass from Mark Jackson.
Jackson had 13 assists, 14 rebounds, and 22 points. The first triple-double in Pacers playoff history. Still, the Knicks came back to tie it up in the fourth quarter.
Nice pass underneath to Larry Johnson.
But down the stretch, Indiana was just too much.
Wide open Miller. Spot up three. Got it. Wide open look. Inside to Rick. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson tried to stop him. Yes, sir! And the Pacers are going to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
We have a lot of respect for the Bulls. It's going to be tough, but I got a group of guys over there that believe in themselves, and I think that they're looking forward to the challenge.
Now we take you back into the action with the Eastern Conference Finals between the Chicago Bulls and Indiana Pacers. After splitting the season series with Chicago, the Indiana Pacers were confident as they prepared for Game 1 against the Bulls, who are in search of their 6th NBA title in the past 8 years.
What time is it?
The Pacers exploded out of the gate and got off to an early lead as they capitalized on every opportunity.
Boy, Indiana's playing with great confidence right now.
But the Bulls withstood the charge and answered right back.
Kukoc cuts back to Harper, and on an 8-0 run, the Bulls have claimed their first lead.
The Pacers would keep things close thanks to their tough defense.
Swatted away by Antonio Davis. Here's Reggie Miller sprinting ahead.
Indiana played a strong first half, but it was only a matter of time before the Bulls hit their stride.
Kukoc leads Pippen.
With his team up by just 3 at the half, Larry Bird was concerned.
I thought we really had an opportunity to win the basketball game, but it seemed to me like Chicago was just toying with us.
And in the second half, Michael Jordan would ignite the Bulls.
Here's Michael with the steal, and Chicago with the lead.
Although he was quiet for much of the game, Reggie Miller ended the Bulls' run with some long-range shooting.
The three is there for Reggie Miller.
But MJ was simply too much.
Mullins at his mercy.
Jordan scored 25 of his 31 points in the second half as he dazzled the home crowd.
Michael to the ball. He doesn't do it as often, but he can still explode.
Then it was time for the finishing touch.
To the hole, reverse, force the foul.
Maybe we dodged the bullet the first half, but we carried that game the second half. We went out there and fulfilled a promise that we kept to ourselves to maintain this home court advantage.
Hey, we know we're playing the Chicago Bulls, defending basketball champions, but hey, we're going to still fight and scrap and do the best we possibly can.
Michael and the Bulls were looking to take a 2-0 series lead. But the Pacers got off to another fast start.
Tipped out to Miller. 3-on-2 now for Indiana. Miller pulling up, and Reggie Miller with a three-point basket.
Indiana led by as many as 9 points in the first half, getting a big lift from bench players like Jalen Rose and Derek McKee.
And here is McKee with a reverse layup and a great pass.
And Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson with a familiar run.
The Pacers were in command throughout the first half. But then, Scottie Pippen and the Bulls turned up the defensive pressure and began to turn the game around.
Pippen with the long reach gets it away from Jackson and scores.
And just before halftime, Jordan pulled Chicago even closer.
Here's Michael Jordan. His time up now. He hits it. Michael Jordan.
The Bulls then took the lead with a 17-6 run to open the third quarter as the Chicago bench stepped up.
Here's Kerr for three again, and this hit.
Then in crunch time, it was Jordan who took over.
Field by Michael Jordan.
And his airness would seal the Bulls' 6-point victory.
Michael Jordan with a fall away. Oh, what a shot by Michael Jordan. And that may be the exclamation point.
It was another classic playoff performance for Jordan, who scored 41 points to put the Bulls 2 games up.
I thought that he played a great game. There's no question about that. He scored a lot of points, and he's the reason they won it.
He's a great player, and what great players are supposed to do is step up, and that's exactly what he did.
Here's a recap of the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Bulls defeated the Hornets. The Pacers defeated the Knicks. Now, it's the Pacers against the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. Coming up next on NBA Action, we'll take a look back at the LA Lakers-Utah Jazz series from last year's playoffs in overtime. Then, we'll check out some highlights from the Western Conference Finals.
Eddie Jones pulls off the impossible.